the 5 greatest American accents. If these are any of your accents, you're gonna have to let me know in the comment section. It'll be really interesting to see which of you guys have these accents. Before we do jump in this, like 80% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. If you're one of those people that aren't subscribed, I appreciate if you can hit that subscribe button down below. But yeah, let's get straight into this.
Quite simple. I agreed to do the video. I did not agree to wear a t-shirt of George Washington holding a hot dog. It's tacky. Just go get my yellow mustard jumper.
I like
People love
it.
to see me in that. Hello. I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos
American accents.
To accents.
Alright, let's see what we've got. The
Specifically,
best
the
ones.
different accents that I've heard since moving to the United States. So you know how British people get up in arms when Americans think that Britain only has 2 accents, Cockney and YouTube sensation Lawrence Brown.
Okay.
Well, the longer that I live in America, and by now that's been 15 years, I've come.
Oh, do you know what would be interesting? You guys from America, comment down real quick right now. Whereabouts in the UK do you think I'm from or near on my accent? That'd be interesting to see.
To discover, much to my own chagrin, that us Brits have been making the same faux pas about the United States.
Fair enough. More than 2, but fair enough.
To this channel, do that now.
His link will be in the description.
I was under the misapprehension that the only accents that existed in this country were Harrison Ford, Robert De Niro, and Dolly Parton. But experience has taught me otherwise. Is that really the line? I've worked with people from all over the Midwest, and I've been to various parts of America, and in doing so, I've heard some wild inflections, delightful pronunciations, and also eaten a lot of food, but that's beside the point. And so today, I thought it would be a good idea to make a video that will get me cancelled by half of the country, in which I list my 5 favorite...
Yeah, I can't lie. Yo, all of these opinions are his, not mine. Because you're choosing 5 best American accents out of a whole, but you're gonna wind up so many people. If you're not on the list, hey, these aren't my opinions. These aren't mine, they're his.
Regional accents in the United States. Can we say 5 of my favorite regional accents? So if your accent didn't make the list, it's either because there are just too many great accents in the US, or because it is
Backtrack it, I like it.
And so as my too many great accents in the US, or because it is genuinely rubbish. And so as my cat digs his claws into my...
Do you know what video I want to see from him, but he would never make? You need balls to make this. The 5 worst American accents.
Stomach. Here are some
there's so many
of the
bad
best
UK
American
ones.
accents that I've heard since moving to the United States.
Right, let's start. Let's see. Upper Midwest.
I should have prefaced this video by saying that I am not a speech coach. I am by no means an expert on delivering these accents, so do not expect me to replicate them here for your viewing pleasure. You want me to try my best?
Wait, he's not going to do it.
Having lived in Chicago for the last 7 years, I've heard things, right? Mostly taxis, honking, but I've also heard hints of what is known as an upper Midwestern accent. And you might just be thinking, ooh, Lawrence, why didn't you just include the Chicago accent in that case? And the reason is that every time I hear the Chicago accent, people sound angry, especially when they're not.
Oh, really?
So I thought I'd tell you all about the upper Midwestern accent that you hear in places like Minnesota and Wisconsin. During my first job in America, there was a woman in my training class who was from Wisconsin. And after hearing her speak a few times, I realized that she didn't sound like the rest of these people from Indiana. And mostly that came from the way she pronounced her O's, right? It was something like, ooh, just not as high-pitched as that. And
Wait. She's pronouncing O's like, ooh. So like, ooh.
And I can't really do it because when I try to do it, I end up sounding Irish, which is true of most accents that I try. It was very endearing. I think she would say the word to go. To go.
To go.
Again, sounds Irish.
That does sound very much Irish. Oh, I wish he had like a clip of the person like saying it so I can see if they sound Irish or not. But that sounds very, very Irish.
Essentially, they do it in one syllable, sort of a monothon.
To go.
When we non-Northern Midwesterners try to say the sound O, it's sort of O, whereas they do it as a ooh.
To go.
Like but one thing that I heard the other day is that Northern Midwesterners do this thing where they sort of close up their mouth, you know, no, that's where we're...
Joe, he sounds literally like I'm in Ireland right now and I'm speaking to an Irish person. Bro, that's how we sound.
What is that? I don't know what accent that is. But they close up their mouth, and that sort of helps to truncate some of those vowel sounds a little bit. As to why they sound Irish, I don't know, because I'd heard that much of the way that people speak in the northern Midwest is influenced by Scandinavians. Maybe some Irish people came in and they all had a big party, and at the end of it, that was the result. But my absolute favourite thing about northern Midwestern English is the way they pronounce the word bag. Right? It's not bag, it's more like beg. Beg, as in to beg for food. And to me, and this might just be a weird quirk of who I am,
I like that.
I find that very attractive. I'm
like that.
married, but if I was single and I went on one of those dating sites and a woman in her profile said, by the way, I'm really into English guys and I pronounce it beg, then we would definitely be going to a date. If she pronounced it beg, as some of them do, then we're getting married. And I would subject myself to a
I like the first one better than the second one. Bag.
lifetime of talking about bags. So maybe this wouldn't be such a great idea.
Bostonian.
Back in 2004, I got a chance to visit Boston for the first and so far only time. And while I was there, I was hanging out with friends and also friends of friends. And they just all happened to be mostly Harvard students, because in those days I was extremely elitist. But during the day, while they were busy learning Latin or something like that, I'd go off into the town or city centre and I frequented an ice cream shop. And I was speaking to sort of the servers there, and I noticed their accent was so strong, right? They'd lived in the city clearly their entire life to that point, where they'd say something like, hey, but...
That's an ice... Bro. That looks so... Do you know when you get like a toy ice cream? That's what that looks like right there. What?
Point where they'd say something like,
how do you get
hey, buddy, want some nuclear power with that? That was JFK pronouncing nuclear power.
Nuclear power.
But you still heard a Bostonian accent. But at the same time, I don't want to just draw on the stereotypical words that people use when they do a Boston accent, like park or car or yard. So instead, I've got far, dark, and hard.
Far, dark, hard.
Kind of hard.
I like that accent. I like Boston accent.
Car. That I got the wrong word, but you get the general picture. The beauty of that kind of old world Bostonian English,
I like Boston a lot.
It doesn't adhere to the same rhotic pattern that a lot of American English does, where you pronounce that final R. And so it almost has this feeling of being a marriage between British and American English. And I picked Bostonian for this just because I have first-hand experience of it. But just from watching television, it's evident that there's some absolutely delightful and delicious East Coast accents all over the shop. I was watching this one show recently, I think it was one of those Bake Off Challenge type shows, and one of the contestants was from Rhode Island. And he pronounced the word marinara like marinara. It was the most glorious thing I've ever heard.
Pittsburgh. Wait, this is interesting because I've never seen like the word that you call where someone's from. You know what I mean? It's like Boston, never heard of Bostonian. Pittsburgh, never heard of Pittsburghese. Never heard of these.
I got to visit the state of Pennsylvania for the first time, and before doing so, I don't think I was fully aware what a linguistically rich state it is. On the far west part of the state is the city of Pittsburgh, and that was the first place in Pennsylvania that I arrived at since we were coming from Chicago. We were there just for the 4th of July, so we didn't have a lot of time in the city, but while we were there, I did try to listen out for a local accent. And here's what I figured out. In Pittsburgh, the alphabet only has 25 letters, and L isn't one of them. Because it's almost like when they say words that has an L in the middle of it, it ends up somewhere back here. For instance, take the name of another well-known Pennsylvanian city, Philadelphia, which has 2 instances of L. I imagine...
Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Is that how they say it? Philadelphia?
That somebody from Pittsburgh probably pronounces it Philadelphia. That, I don't know what that was. That sounded like my dog. So sorry to the people of Pittsburgh.
I really doubt people in Pittsburgh are talking like that, bro.
Let me know in the comments below if you're from Pittsburgh and how you pronounce your L's or don't pronounce your L's. I just noticed there was an absence of L's. And famously, Pittsburghian people, Pittsburghers, people from Pittsburgh pronounce the vowel sound in town like town, like downtown. Downtown
in Philadelphia.
Cockney. It's definitely different.
Wait, is that like a good accent? Downtown Philadelphia.
It's very unique.
I'm not using my O's.
Pittsburgh. I even tried to get one of the waitresses who served us at a restaurant to say it without asking, because I imagine that they get that a lot from tourists. And so I just sort of tried to tease it out of her by saying, where exactly are the 4th of July fireworks taking place tonight? And frustratingly, although rightly, her answer was, by the rivers. And so I never got to hear her say, Don-ton, Don-ton, Dan-tan, Don-ton. Which one is it? I need to watch a YouTube video on this.
Philly accent, okay.
A few days after leaving Pittsburgh, we ended up in the previously mentioned Philadelphia. And to my ears, it was pretty wild how one state could have 2 completely different variations on the English language. Because the first thing that I'd say upon hearing a Philly accent, of which locals say there are many Philly accents, it sort of sounded to my British ears like a New York accent, but I think there was some subtle differences in there. You know, on this channel, I've often talked about how when I'm in a restaurant in most places in the United States and I order a water, the server's eyes usually meet mine with a look of utter confusion before they realize that what I'm ordering is what they pronounce as water. Philadelphia does it a little bit differently.
Can I get a bottle of water? Bro, listen, I would... I'm saying water, but the way I say water is... Where's the tea, bro? Water. Can I get a bottle of water? Can I get a bottle of water? Bottle of water? Bro, it's actually so weird, isn't it? Water. Can I get some water?
For that, they pronounce it something like wooder. Wooder the woodpecker. No,
wooder.
Woody. I mean, there's almost a joke in it that a Philadelphian, a British person, and other American people walk into a bar and order water. And in that same joke, you might have a person from each party who asks, in my case, from Britain, have you eaten yet? Or as some people might say in Indiana, where I used to live.
Yo, imagine, hey, can I get a bottle of water? Oh, can I get a bottle of water?
Have you ate? In Philadelphia, it's more like G. It almost sounds like they're suppressing a hiccup. And also among Philadelphians, correct me if I'm wrong, the vowel sound in the word on is more like on. So
on. I like that.
YouTube sensation Lawrence Brown, oh, that guy, he walks on water. Walks on water.
Walks on water.
It's just the perception that people have developed, mostly because of propaganda and lies, and a healthy grain of truth.
Southern West Virginia accent, aye.
And finally, West Virginia. And if you're new to this channel, you're probably thinking, what does a city dweller know about life in the mountains?
Right.
Well, I am a bona fide mountain man, I'll have you know.
What is he, a tree?
This is still my house in Illinois. But what I said is true. Because in addition to all of the world-renowned hiking that I am renowned for throughout the world, I'm married to an American who has familial ties to West Virginia. And that means that we've spent countless Labor Day weekends up in the mountains. I
never realized this. West Virginia looks like a chicken. Do you see it? Like the leg, the butt, and the head. It looks like a chicken, bro.
With said family members. And it's great because one tradition that we have is to play bluegrass music. And it was so contagious that at one point even I got up and played guitar and even sang. The footage has since been confiscated by the CIA, so you won't get to see that.
What a shame. Oh, here it is.
But when we're not singing and when I'm not stuffing my face full of chicken dippers, we are in conversation. I say we, I can't get a word in edgeways. But for the purposes of my channel, that's good because it means that I just get to listen to them speak. And the first thing I noticed, they have this very soft, gentle way of talking, which is not what I'd expect of people living in the
it reminds me of like, it's like some characters in like The Walking Dead. I like it. I like it.
Mountains. You know, you might have to fend off bears. I suppose that's a lovely way of putting them to sleep. But when you look at a map, I imagine that West Virginia isn't too far away from the point at which Northern American English starts becoming Southern American English. And I think because of that, to my ears, that Southern West Virginia accent isn't quite as pronounced as something in, say, Alabama. But they do still say things like, fine. At least
I'm mad fine.
When I asked him how his family life's going. Well,
over yonder.
Find yourself out there in the woods alone at night, Lawrence, because you could run into some of them black bears over yonder.
This is definitely like one of the most like popular accents among like, you know, New York accent. Because, yeah, you hear this all the time in, like, movies, shows, games. Like, him saying that now is bringing back so many, like, I'm thinking of so many characters and stuff in my head right now.
Right? They like to say that they like the phrase over yonder.
Definitely one of the most popular outside of America.
Which is good because it helps to keep Shakespeare alive in the 21st century. Oh, and I'm pretty certain that I heard this for the first time in West Virginia, although subsequently heard it in other states like Indiana and Ohio, pronouncing Washington as Washington. And I've just now realised that's why you made me wear the t-shirt. Yeah, he's not George Washington carrying a hot dog.
George Washington
carrying a hot dog. That was Forrest Gump. Sorry, I'm really bad at this.
I think he's amazing.
Right there were 5 of my favourite American accents. And you're probably thinking, oh, everything you just listed is situated east of the Mississippi. That's because I definitely want to set up a second video in which I discuss Western American English, which broadly speaking and incorrectly, people often associate with General American English, and is therefore...
So this was mainly, was this mainly all of the eastern side of the Mississippi?
Or all the same, but this isn't true. There are subtle differences between, say, a Pacific Northwest accent and a Californian accent. Somebody wrote the other day that a Pacific Northwest accent sounds like a Canadian surfer dude. So I can't wait to look into that. And to any of my viewers who may be from Chicago.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
Went to gym. I love the Chicago accent, personally. It's just, I didn't want to be biased, you know.
Right.
So,
bonus
entry, the Chicago accent. There we go. Well done. Well done. We did it. We made it into the list. I love the accent. Actually do. Thanks for watching.
That was good. You guys definitely got to let me know what are your personal favorite American accents down below in the comment section. Let me know whereabouts you're from as well. Always enjoy checking out these accents and stuff. I find them really interesting. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you thumbs up, subscribe for more content. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG if you guys want to check me out over there. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.